Well, hello everyone, and today we're joined by Paul Walsh from the Fredericks Foundation, and Beth is here to help us talk to Paul as well. So Paul, nice to meet you.
Pleasure to be here.
Good. Now, Paul, we have started to work with you guys at the Fredericks Foundation fairly recently as Claranet.
Yeah.
And reading a little bit about what you guys do, it reminded me a little bit of the Dragon's Den, actually. But
we promise not to be as nasty as the Dragons in the Dragon's Den.
So, yeah, just talk to me a little bit about what you do.
So, Fredericks Foundation was started way back in 2001 by myself. And the reason I started it was because I found it really difficult when I started my own business to get funding. And it made a big scar on me. When I was interviewed by the Financial Times when I sold the business, said, why did you want to start that? The idea was because getting funding for someone who's from a fairly privileged background was hard. So how hard is it for someone who has no social infrastructure, is in a really low point in their life? And they simply won't be granted loans to maybe do a simple little business and they can't get it. And if they're on benefits with £105 a week, they're never going to get started.
So that's your focus on people that find it hard to...
Yeah, I mean, about 80% are on benefits and unemployed, yeah.
And what was your ambition when you first started the foundation? What was your mission, if you like?
So we wanted to give people who had the spark, but not the ability, maybe they needed a second chance to get going in life. And that was, I think it's not fair that people should be condemned to no credit forever just because in their youth they might not have been as prudent as they perhaps should have been and have terrible credit scores.
Okay. And so if I come to you looking for it's a loan that you said?
It's a loan. And we started off giving grants. And it's odd really, but for financial sustainability, you're more likely to be sustainable from a loan than from a grant. And it's just worth thinking, well, I started, how so? If it's free, it must be better. But it's a mental mindset. If you think, oh gosh, I have to pay this back, it forces you to start thinking, oh right, well I'm going to need to get some revenue. Where am I going to get that? So it's something that Muhammad Yunus found out with his microloan organisation, Bangladesh, many years ago, that small loans are better than just giving people money. Okay.
So if I come to your very friendly Dragon's Den, if I can put it that way, what would I need to demonstrate? What are you looking for in people that come to you?
Well, the most important thing is to demonstrate a good attitude to debt. So though many of them have got county court judgments against them and so forth, if they've shown that they're now paying back, that all their debts they might have, they're now on top of and are dealing with, then that's a really positive, good start. And that's one of the things we like to see. The second thing we like to see is a business plan and a cash flow, just showing that they've thought through the business and how they're going to make money. And then finally, so they've got hopefully a business that can work, and finally that they're the person to run that business. So they've got a passion and an urge to make it successful.
Okay. And are there a couple of examples that come to mind just to help us understand?
Well, I thought it might be worth just recounting an example of two. One was Delight, and this was because this came immediately after the money we received from Claranet. So Claranet very kindly gave us £10,000 in December, and in January we backed a lady called Delight, who was an immigrant from Zimbabwe, had been persecuted, and was trying to get off benefits and start her own business. And we gave her the funding to provide sort of South African food. And now she's up and running and paying back. Her name was Delight. And the next one, though we concentrate on women, because women are better at paying back than men, and we launched the very first microloan women's only fund. So Delight came out of that.
Any other examples that you can think of?
There was a chap called Fraser, couldn't get a job, been looking for 6 months after he came out of jail, and he gave up when he knew that when he was turned down for a job to turning the screw tops on bottles, he said, right, my only option is to start my own business. And we've backed him, and he's now self-sufficient.
So with a lot of the people that you work with, do they tend to be kind of one-man bands? So they're doing every aspect of the business?
Indeed. And they're not going to be experts at anything, but typically what they're doing, whether they're...
The idea.
Yeah, whether they're baking bread or whether they're making sausages, whatever it may be. They won't be experts at technology. They won't be experts at legal. They're often not very good at accountancy. All these things that a one-man band has to do, or one-woman band has to do, they're intimidated by some of that, and it needn't be so hard.
Yeah, because I guess that's where Claranet comes into this, is such a large organisation, and now we're working together. I know you have a mentor scheme.
We do.
So we can kind of, the areas that Claranet has, where we have a dedicated team for marketing, finance, HR, technology, can act as mentors for some of these people to kind of help them out, give them some guidance, some advice on areas that they're focusing on, the main business idea.
Absolutely. We've not tried this, but this is what the demand. This is what our clients, we think, need. They need some specialist help just to give them the confidence to move further forward. We give an awful lot of help to our clients. Having extra resource would just be brilliant, and that could even be on a web platform, so it wouldn't necessarily even have to go down and visit them. Yeah.
So what other ways are there that Claranet can get involved?
There's two big things. One is the technical support in the business, and the other is funding for the business. Those are the two big areas, if you think, which equals successful businesses, which is what we're trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully we can get an internal team together to help be mentors, and also to kind of think of ideas wider than that, how we can help some of these businesses and the Fredericks Foundation.
Well, if we can build a relationship, we can explain where our issues are. I know there'll be expertise and resources in Claranet who'll be able to help disproportionately. It'd be wonderful, because you know what it's like when you're by yourself at home without helping you trying to do something. If there's nobody to help you do your multifarious things, that's what we can do to help in starting businesses.
Yeah.
And
looking to the future, I mean, where would you like to go next? What do you have in mind for?
Well, what I think, when I was running a business, I thought it's really important that businesses are seen to be working with the community, sort of thing, because I really feel strongly that business has to be seen to be rooted in its community. So it's where I'd love it to see is be able to help all over the UK for businesses to be successful.
Thank you very much for that. That was really interesting, and hopefully the start of a good relationship with the Fredericks Foundation and Claranet. If anyone wants any more information, you can get in contact with the marketing team or HR. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Matt.